Hi everyone, it's Camry and I'm your host and moderator of BlackPRWire's Thrivin in Color podcast. Make sure you stay tuned because we have lots of exciting interviews for you. We're talking sports, mental health, what are we doing in the Black community, how can we connect the cultures. We're giving you all of the information for you to take back. We're dropping gems, so make sure you have your notes ready. We have lots of exciting interviews for you all to join in and listen to. So we're so excited to be starting, and we can't wait to give you more. Hey Thrivers, welcome back to another episode of Thrivin in Color. August is Black Business Month, and here at Thrivin in Color podcast, we are celebrating the innovators, leaders, and game changers building powerful legacies in our communities. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Advocacy, Black business owners own 3.5 million businesses. And as we continue to support Black businesses, that number only increases. Today, I'm sitting down with Jeff Lindor, a father, entrepreneur, and changemaker. He is the founder and CEO of the Gentleman's Factory, a pillar institution headquartered in Brooklyn, New York, dedicated to empowering Black and brown men professionally, personally, and collectively. Through this pioneering space, Jeff fosters leadership, entrepreneurship, and community among men of color. Jeff doesn't just talk the talk, he's building a brotherhood that is shifting the culture. So listen up, Thrivers. This is a conversation you do not want to miss. Welcome, Jeff. It's truly a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor.
Of course. So before we get into things, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Born in Haiti, raised in Brooklyn, and I've always just had a lens of community and really just understanding the full details of how and why my community looks the way that it looks. And I was always looking at problem solving. So started out a career in banking, then went to healthcare, then got a master's in public policy. And then all of those collective experiences then really led me to start Gentleman's Factory because I just saw that, Black men were just so isolated in so many spaces and we didn't really have the collective movement and power to really solve some of the problems that are impacting our community.
I like that's very interesting. I'm glad that you have this space to really bring men together for such a powerful cause. So this is going to be very nice. So, what inspired you to create the Gentleman's Factory, and what do you believe has been the key to its success?
Yeah, going back to just isolation, right? Where
Mhm.
are the intentional spaces that are there to really pay attention to the details of our lives, right?
Mm.
So many of us go to institutions, PWIs, and you'll have a entrepreneur that is not of your same ilk, if you would, talk about how they got started, and they'll say, oh, like they were able to raise X amount of money through friends and family, or they were able to be a part of certain networks, etc. And then they created amazing businesses, right?
Right.
But we can't necessarily relate to many of us because just how they got started compared to how we can get started is just night and day, right? So cultural competency is one of the key pillars in our space.
Mhm.
The fact that we understand the sensitivities in the current state of affairs in our communities, while we also look to enhance us, right? So I think with the success that we've had to date is really the fact that this is a space that's not meant for us to fit in. This is a space
Mhm.
that fits us.
I like that. And we definitely need cultural competency. People want to feel seen and heard. So it's good to have someone that can really relate to you in these type of situations. You guys are doing great work at the Gentleman's Factory. I love it.
Thank you.
So, what makes the Gentleman's Factory different from traditional co-working or networking spaces?
Going back to intentionality, right? during COVID, we, really just confirmed that like our greatest value isn't the fact that we have spaces. Our greatest value is the fact that we have community, right?
Mm,
Because, during the global pandemic, um, we couldn't go to our physical spaces, but we were
wow.
able to still gain and build community. So I think, um, and know that community is the bedrock of the foundation of what we do. And
Mhm.
there are many organizations, many, community, spaces that are much larger in scale or have greater amenities, etc. But what differentiates us is our level of intentionality to our community, and that's how we're able to scale.
Okay, okay. So we talk a lot about safe spaces. How would you describe the environment at the Gentleman's Factory, and how does it foster success and growth for Black and Brown gentlemen?
The programming, right? So in a given week, let me just go back to last week, right? So we had a political candidate who's running for governor come into Gentleman's Factory to talk about his platform and why he's the best person to run the state of New York. In the week prior, we had someone running for mayor of New York City. So we have political activism. While also, hosting workshops on business development, right? So we host workshops on how we get started. So you can look at an entrepreneur and you can see the
Mm-hmm.
success that he or she has. But then, we have curated conversations on how they got started and, ask them questions that's non-Googleable, right? We host group therapy sessions biweekly with board certified psychiatrists, right? Where, members are able to really dig deep into, some of the areas in their mind that they don't want to go into, right?
Right.
So create safe spaces and nurture an environment that we're able to articulate what's really going in our minds without judgment, right? So, um,
Mm-hmm.
and like, we have cigar nights and we have watch parties, right? So it's a combination of different experiences, which really speaks to, again, um, just the vastness of our experiences, right? So
Right.
we can speak about heavy things and we can, you know, speak about, hey, like, who is better, like LeBron or Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a community and it's beautiful and it's really, relevant to, what we as Black men need.
Wow, I really love that. And it's good that you guys have that space where people can open up, especially mentally, because a lot of people, well, society has this thing that Black men don't cry and you guys have to be strong and things like that. And people have to realize that you all have feelings too and you are human beings.
We're
So,
human, for sure, absolutely.
yes. So, starting a business comes with unique challenges. What barriers have you faced as a Black entrepreneur and how have you overcome them?
We look to overcome challenges every day, right?
Right.
This year makes it 9 years that I've been doing this full time, and we've pivoted all throughout, right? The way that we run this institution is we run it through listening. Like, where is our community going? What do Black
Mhm.
in need, right? So we operated pre-COVID, we've operated during COVID, post-COVID,
Right.
and we're operating in different presidential administrations. We are now operating in the anti-DEI movement, etc.
Yeah.
Right? So many different, while we also operated in the Black Lives Matter movement, right? So
Mhm.
um, the ability to really, focus on our North Star, and not really get distracted by the immediate things, right? But still address, what's happening currently, but
Right.
while just moving the ship forward. So I think, throughout this journey, it's really the ability to pivot, the ability to listen to community, the ability to really see what's going on in the world, and how can we
Mhm.
as a collective of individuals to one, make sure that they're good, and
Yeah.
two, how do we ensure that our community as a whole?
I love that. And community definitely plays a big part in a lot of organizations and businesses. So it's good
Mhm.
that you guys keep them involved as well.
Yes.
Now, what's some common misconceptions about Black entrepreneurship? And let's say, how do you wish people would understand it more?
Hmm. Well, like I think the common misconception is the fact that you are working for yourself and you have freedom. No, like if someone is looking to be an entrepreneur because they want freedom, then I think that they should go back to work, right? Because, with entrepreneurship, you have to turn nothing into something every single day,
Right.
every hour, every moment, perhaps, right? So, and you may also have a different boss day to day, right? Depending on
Yeah.
who your client is, depending on who your partner is, etc. Right? So, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. And I think that, we were speaking here at Gentleman's Factory, 2 weeks ago with one of our how did you get started entrepreneur panels, and one entrepreneur by the name of Gene Alert, he's a real estate investor and does a lot of really amazing things in the community. And one of the things that he said was that entrepreneurship is a test of your endurance level, right?
Mm,
Or your tolerance level, right? What are you able to tolerate? And
right.
it is beautiful because when you're able to get through those hurdles,
Yeah.
um, that's where the success comes in, right? So yeah, entrepreneurship is a painful massage, I would say.
All right. That's definitely true. People think, oh, I'm going to leave my 9 to 5 and have freedom. It's like you go from 9 to 5 to 24/7 in entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, absolutely, sure.
Yes. Now, what programs or initiatives does the Gentleman's Factory have in place to help Black and Brown men grow personally and professionally?
Yeah, so many. Like as I said before, we have group therapy sessions with a board
Mhm.
certified physician with George Banning. Shout out to George, Dr. George Banning. That to real estate, to like real estate mixers, to political candidates coming in to talk about what their vision is for the country, the city, the state. So we've had presidential candidates come, we've had mayoral candidates, we've had senatorial candidates from different states, right, ranging
Okay.
from California to Kentucky
Wow.
to Maryland and beyond, right? So any day at Gentleman's Factory, you never know who you'd run into because there's so many things that are happening. And then we're really keen on not just focusing on one segment of the population of
Mm-hmm.
men, right? So, our community is vast from, ultra wealthy individuals to gentlemen that are in the middle class or the gentlemen that are just getting started, right? So it's this vastness. With the programming that we have, we touch upon all of those facets of
Okay. So you guys provide some great programs and initiatives for the Gentleman's Factory.
that. Yeah, we're a factory.
Yep. Now, as we celebrate Black Business Month, what are some meaningful ways the community can show up for Black owned businesses?
Yeah, patronize the businesses, right? Like I think that a lot of times entrepreneurs are asking for, um, to raise money, and
Mm-hmm.
raising money is important. But what's equally important is sales, right? So
Right.
if you know of a black business, purchase from them, you know, hire them, right? Because those things goes a long way. So yeah, I would say definitely support. Obviously, hold them accountable in the sense where if the service is not good, I mean, just don't write a Yelp review, right? But
Right.
like DM them or something, right? But well, what I would also say too is that do what you would do for any other business, right? So if you're not Yelp reviewing other businesses, then
Mm-hmm.
Yelp review us, right?
Right.
Keep that same energy.
Yes, agreed, definitely. So, before we go, what advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs striving to make an impact?
build a network. You can't do this
Mhm.
by yourself. I think that we've been conditioned in our community to just keep secrets and don't tell anybody what we're working on until like it's super tight. I would argue against that because you know what God has for you is for you, right? And
Yes.
you cannot build something by yourself because
Mm.
you're going to need individuals to make introductions for you. You're going to need individuals to give you money or to
Right.
pay your car note when you don't have any cash, right?
Mm.
You need community. And if you're operating in silos and waiting for that thing that you've been working on to really get to a point where you can actually speak to people about it,
Mhm.
then sometimes that works. But I would argue against that because you need individuals at all levels, at the ground level, at the level where you're going to market, and at level at scale, right?
Right.
So, and if you feel as though that you can't talk to people about that, then you got to ask yourself, what community have you cultivated historically that made you not want to talk to people about what you're going through or what you want
Hmm.
or what you need, right? So that's maybe more of a you problem, right? Because
Right.
as I've, been building Gentleman's Factory, I've always had a core team of people who I could rely on, share ideas with, and then hold me accountable. And that was even before we even had our first event, before we had physical spaces, before all of this stuff, right? When it was just an idea, I've had individuals that I was, confining in, and that network has expanded. But there are things that I'm working on that's, I guess, confidential to the
Mhm.
general public. But I still have a team of individuals who I'm bouncing ideas off of that global expansion. Oh, I didn't say global expansion. I said global, right? But of just those types of things that I'm working on. So I have a team of people who I'm telling to
All
about.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, Thrivers, you heard it here first. Jeff, I truly enjoyed having you on the program. Thank you so much for dropping those gems. Please let everyone know where they can find and connect with the Gentleman's Factory.
Yes. And again, Camry, thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor. You all can find me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Mr. Community NYC, and name is Jeff Lindor. With Gentleman's Factory, you can put Gentleman's Factory on Instagram, on Twitter, and visit our website, gentlemansfactory.com. And if you're in New York City, stop by, right? Stop by our Bed-Stuy location. Our Bed-Stuy location, which I am in here now, it's a barbershop speakeasy. So if you want to get a haircut, for gentlemen and ladies, right? You
Mm-hmm.
just book it on our website and get a nice shape up, and then you can grab a drink and hang out with us in the back, right? So it's a
Right.
massive community space that are really intentional about building building people.
All righty. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to BlackPRWire's Thriving in Color podcast. Download and listen to Thriving in Color on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to follow BlackPRWire on Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn to keep up with the latest news and updates happening in Black communities. Don't forget to support a Black business this month and beyond. I'm your host, Camry, and remember to keep thriving in color.